I don't see a whole lot about Grok video generation here on YouTube, so I figured we should check it out, see what it does and how it works. Grok is the AI chatbot by X or XAI, similar to ChatGPT or Gemini. Grok can generate images and videos. For video, you can do text to video where you just give it a description and it turns it into a video, or you can do image to video where you provide the starting frame and have it make a video from that. Grok's video generation has built-in audio like Sora 2 or VO3, where it can do sound effects or background music or even speech. I'll show you how to generate AI videos on Grok, but first let's take a look at a few that I've already created, starting with this abandoned amusement park coming to life from this starting frame image. The lights didn't flicker on sequentially like the prompt called for. The lights on the carousel just came on slowly, and there's a light casting on the Ferris wheel from somewhere, but no lights attached to it. In the background, the rungs and rails on the roller coaster shouldn't be moving, but they are, and I guess those are supposed to be the cars on the roller coaster that are blurring in and out of the scene. For the audio, we're supposed to have creaking metal and carnival music and a haunting magical tone. What we got sounds like water and whoosh with a little dramatic background music. For comparison, I also ran the same image and prompt with Kling 2.5 Turbo, which is currently #1 on the AI video leaderboard for both text to video and image to video. Here's what Kling did with it. Kling did better with the lights. They didn't exactly flicker on, but much closer than Grok, and the overall lighting of the scene makes more sense. It didn't really follow the sequence of lights on then start moving, and it's got the horsies on the carousel going backward. As for the audio, there's something I guess you could call metal creaking buried in that sonar sound, but no carnival music. Now here's DJ Doggo dropping the beat. Cute, yes. Accurate, no. But we'll ignore the fact that it looks like he's just resting one paw on the turntable, and how his other paw tapping on the knobs drifts out of sync with the beat. His face and head are just kinda fixed, not much movement or expression. But the crowd bouncing in the background's good, and I like the camera work with the slight arc to the right. The audio works. I didn't even tell it what to do there, it just inferred from the image or the visual descriptions in the prompt. Kling also has him using the turntable as a paw rest, even though it's supposed to be spinning. Not sure what he's doing with his other paw. Doesn't seem like he's tapping in time with the beat, because I don't think there is a beat in whatever that audio is, and the people in the background aren't dancing because they can't figure it out either. Now here's another version of that one from Grok with no prompt. I think this one's probably the pick of the litter, pun intended, and there's a reason I have this no prompt version that I didn't even ask Grok for. I'll show you what that's about when we get into Grok. But now let's take a jog through a wheat field. It feels like a slow-mo glide more than POV jogging, but it did move us through the wheat field in a POV perspective, and the movement of some of the wheat stalks seems pretty intentional and cool. The audio incorporated everything in the prompt fairly well, although the rustling of the wheat isn't great. Not much bobbing of the camera there to simulate POV jogging, and it sounds like some old birds with a hangover squawking while a garden hose is spraying nearby, and I don't know what the thuds are supposed to be. I like that we're not in slow-mo, although we're not exactly moving at a jogging pace either. Our little picnic donut thief video turned out great with Grok. The way he picks up the donut and him eating the donut is at least physically plausible. I like the crumbs dropping in the box and the way the donut box lid is moving in the breeze. Even the audio for this one, which I didn't specify in my really simple prompt, Grok put in some music there that fits. The only sound effect sounds like the crumbs dropping in the box, but that's okay, it still works. Not sure why he needed to bury his nose in the middle of the donut to pick it up, but when he did, his chin makes part of the donut disappear. Then he's eating the donut whole, not the donut. I don't know, maybe he's on a diet or something. The box lid movement is good, as well as the squirrel's body and tail movement, but the audio, that lip-smacking chewing noise, not a fan. And it doesn't even sound like a squirrel, especially not one that's eating the air from the center of a donut. One of these two is about to confess something that the other one already suspects or knows, but we'll never know what that is. Anyway, Grok followed the prompt and captured everything, including the guy's small exhale. I don't think it was through his nose, but that's okay. The point of putting that detail in the prompt was just to keep it subtle and avoid having him look like he was blowing out candles on a cake from across the room. I didn't ask for him to adjust his position in the chair, but it does add to the tension, so it's a nice touch. The audio ruins this one. Sounded like a gasp at the beginning that doesn't line up with anything in the shot, and then a big exhale later that doesn't line up with anything. But with the audio muted, the clip turns out fine and tells the story we were going for in this shot. At the point where he first grabs the train, there's something off about the timing, and it feels like he would be being dragged. Then his left leg seems to stop working, and he can't get it on the step. Then he decides to pull himself up and jump both feet onto the rung rather than one at a time, and the movement there seems like he has less gravity than normal to contend with there for a second. Kling couldn't get this guy and the train going in the same direction. He reaches out and touches or grabs the train at one point, then he jumps and gets just the side of his foot on the step of one rail car, and then just jumps up and in between the cars rather than on any of the ladders on any of the rail cars, including the one that's right there. Grok decided to change the numbers on some of the cars so the first four would all be number 21. It doesn't know what to do with the smoke from the tires and just has a little cloud track with the cars. Although it did not move the camera to the inside of the turn, it did take it to a low angle near the track surface. It went with some kind of action-themed music instead of sounds of the cars, but I didn't tell it what to do there, so I can't really complain about it. Kling decided to just turn most of the numbers on the cars into blobs. It did a little better than Grok with the tire smoke, but it has the cars moving too slow and it did very little with the camera movement. As for audio, I guess Kling thinks race cars sound like little angry vacuum cleaners. The guy's supposed to be fumbling around trying to find the off switch while the vacuum keeps blowing out dust, but it just has him patting on the thing while he's smiling, and it doesn't keep putting out dust. The original poof of dust was cool, and it timed the sound effect for that really well. Here in the Kling version, the guy seems to know something's about to happen, and he points at it right before it blows. It puts out a crazy amount of dust, but most of it just disappears above the scene. Then at the very end, he presumably is reaching for the power switch when the camera zoom cuts most of that out as it ends the shot. I did a few text to video with no starting image, just a description of the video I wanted, including this one. It got most of what was in the prompt, but didn't start off with all the paper pieces laying there, and it missed a few details like the trees swaying. My biggest issue with this one is how a few of the cars just fade into existence or melt and disappear as they're going down the street. That really breaks the stop-motion animation paper style of the video. The audio was decent, but nothing to get excited about. Kling didn't start with paper pieces laying around either. Instead, it had things rise up from the white paper. But I like the animation style, like the trees spinning up and the way the buildings folded together. That's what the prompt asked for. This one feels like a decent clip that just ends too soon, but if we extended it to get more buildings and color the existing ones, it would be really neat. If that dude's getting the ball, which looks like a rebound, and he's about to shoot, all the other dudes wouldn't be just standing around watching. Beyond that, when he takes the shot, his hands morph, an arm disappears, and like a potato shows up on his shoulder. It's real quick, so it might not be noticeable when it's playing, especially on a small screen. Then the ball changes shape as it gets to the backboard, bounces on air, then goes through the net, and it physically passes through the front of the rim. Not good. And I have no idea what that audio is supposed to be. The Kling scene makes more sense. The guys that don't have the ball aren't just standing around. It does a little better with the motion up until the ball gets to the backboard, and then the ball violates like 42 laws of physics, and even the net gets in on doing totally weird stuff. Grok can make a video with the speech built in, like Sora 2 and VO3, and you can tell it the exact words you want it to say, like I did with this one.
Move him out of the way! There's a jealous acrobat chasing me!
I got the action I asked for, him riding the bike, and he said almost exactly what I wrote. He just added an "it" in there, move it out of the way. The emotion of the voice lined up and the tone was fine, but the lip sync isn't great and overall audio quality isn't very good either. It sounds like a real voice, just one that's been recorded and distorted. You can create AI videos with Grok on the Grok mobile app or on the web at grok.com, which is where I'm at. Over in the left menu, click Imagine. There's a gallery of videos that have been created on Grok. You can click on one of those and remix it, type in your own prompt, and make your own video from that starting point. Down at the bottom, there's a prompt box. If you want to do text to video, just describe the video that you want. Then click the play button to choose your aspect ratio. You can do 2:3, 3:2, or square 1:1, and choose whether you want a video or an image. We'll select video and click the go button. That brings us to this page. It's generating our video. Once the video is ready, it previews with the sound off, but we can go ahead and turn that on and play it from the beginning, see what it looks and sounds like together. Well, we got a happy dog playing in the snow, but I'm not sure I would call that a backyard. You can make changes to your prompt right here in this prompt box and then hit the play button to generate a different version. And since we did text to video, it also used our same prompt there and started generating different images that we could use as the starting frame. So if you're not happy with this dog or this scene, you come down here on any one of these and just click make video and it'll turn that image into the video. To create a video from an image you already have here on the Imagine page, just drag in your image and drop it. That brings us back into this video creation page, and if you notice, it's already started making a video. I haven't given it a prompt, told it anything, it just started converting this image into a video. Earlier when I showed you that no prompt version of DJ Doggo here, the one I said I didn't even ask for, this is where it came from. When I dragged the image in, that just automatically generated. It doesn't take very long for Grok to generate a video, so I'll just let that run so you can see in real time what the amount of time it takes. And here's the video. Okay, that's some strange audio, and I'm not so sure about the driving, and the lines on the road get a little weird, but that's what it did. If we want to add a prompt, let's go ahead and drag this back to the starting frame here. We'll just say the camera tracks the car at a low angle as it drives fast through the curves. Click this play button to generate. Very similar to its no prompt generation, just maybe a little more focus on the curve since I mentioned that specifically. If I'm good with that and go ahead and download it, my starting image for that was 1280 by 720. The video it generated is 752 by 416. You can upscale this by clicking the three dots and then upscale video. Once it's finished upscaling, this little film strip icon has an HD underneath it, and that brought the resolution up to 1504 by 832. There's a little button over here between the prompt and the generate button, this little film strip drop down. These are the video presets. You've got fun and normal. So we'll click fun, and if you use one of these presets, there's no prompt. It just automatically starts generating the video based on that preset. And here's the fun version. I mean, that looks like fun, but I think the back of the car became the front of the car or something strange there. I'm not sure if there's any difference between selecting this normal preset to generate the video or just leaving the prompt blank and clicking make video, or the type of video it makes when you originally drop your image in and it just starts generating. Seems like those all might be doing the same thing. I'm not sure. Now to do something different from here, this main prompt box down here is disabled, so we either need to click on favorites, which will take us into all our generations and give us a new prompt box, or we can come back over to Imagine. Back on the Imagine page, I'm going to type in a new prompt, and then over next to the arrow generate button, I'm going to click this play button and switch that from video to image. We'll leave the aspect ratio at 3:2 and say image and generate. Now this starts generating not just an image, but multiple images, multiple variations of that image based on my prompt. And I'm not sure how many that it will generate, but I haven't reached the end yet. I haven't gotten to a point where it says that's it. I can just keep scrolling and scrolling, and it keeps on with more and more images based on that prompt. Now we can take any one of those images. We'll just grab this first one. If you click on it, it doesn't automatically generate the video like it does when you bring in an image that you already have, but we can leave the prompt box blank and click make video. And notice it's showing us some other variations underneath where it's working on the video, and that prompt is a little bit different than what I typed. I think it's making some little tweaks to my original prompt and generating different images with different little tweaks, and the one that I picked to bring into here happens to have been this version of how it changed my prompt, if that makes any sense. So then it showed me some variations based on this version of the prompt, trying to hone in on what I'm looking for. And just like on that last page where we did the original generation, it just keeps on generating and we can scroll and scroll and scroll. Here's how the video turned out. Well, it seems like she liked the drink. Now over next to the prompt box, we drop down the presets. We've got the fun and we've got the normal. If you generate the starting image here in Grok, or you use text to video and you're not bringing in an image from outside, you've also got this spicy preset, which I guess may not be family friendly or might be more adult themed. We're going to stay away from that, but let's do a fun version. Okay, I don't know what that was. Now if you want to see all your video generations, down here next to the prompt box where it says favorites, click on that and there's all your generations. If you click on one like this one that we just did that you have a few different versions of, you'll see these arrows up to the left and right. So you can go backward. This is the last generation, the last video we created. Click the left arrow, it'll take us to the one before that. Unfortunately, I have not found a way to delete any of your generations or any of the individual versions. And most of these previews that are showing are from me experimenting with that fun preset. So here's a look at some of those.
The squirrels are plotting against us!
Now trying to figure out how many videos you can generate with Grok was the most frustrating part of this whole experiment. On the pricing page for Grok, it just says Aurora image model under free and Imagine image model under super Grok. Nothing about video or how many images or videos you can generate on any of these. And by the way, where it says super Grok is my current plan, I don't have a separate Grok or super Grok subscription. I have a Premium Plus subscription on X, which includes super Grok. Don't judge me, I'm not paying this kind of money for it. I got a great deal last year before they did the price increase and a Black Friday deal, so it was $100 for an annual subscription, which is about to expire. Anyway, on the X pricing page, there's nothing about image or video generation. Down here under Grok AI, it just says usage limits are higher for Premium and highest for Premium Plus, and then Premium Plus includes Super Grok. But again, nothing about image or video generation, so I went and asked Grok. After all, it's Grok image and video generation. It should know, right? Wrong. The best Grok could do is tell me what people were saying on the internet, on X, and on Reddit. What it came up with is 10 generations, video or image combined, per 24-hour period for free users. In another place, Grok told me 20, but here it says about 10. For X Premium subscribers, 50 to 100. For Premium Plus, 100 to 200. And it doesn't know if that's just videos or combined video and image. And then for Super Grok Heavy, 500 to 1,000. And this range here, the lower numbers and the higher numbers, what it was saying is that initially it was these lower limits, and that was in August. Then apparently at some point later, there were some people posting that the limits had doubled to these higher numbers. Grok says these limits reset every 24 hours, and it seems to think it's on a rolling 24-hour basis. I don't know. It also told me to log into my account for the most up-to-date info, which is not helpful because there's nothing in my account that tells me what the limits are for AI or image generation. There's also nothing visible that shows you how many you've generated in what period or when it resets. Grok's solution to this was to give me detailed instructions on how to go to the video generation page and that I should manually count how many videos I had created in the last 24 hours and then deduct that number from whatever the limit is that it doesn't even know to know how many I had left. I'm not making this up. It also suggested I could ask Grok how many videos I had generated and how close to the quota I was getting. Yes, Grok suggested that I ask Grok, which of course I tried, and it immediately told me it had no idea and went back through this whole spiel about there's no publicly posted information, but here's what everybody on the internet says. In this head-to-head demo, there were a few times where the Grok version came out better than the Kling 2.5 Turbo, but that's anecdotal, and overall I feel like Kling is a more solid video generation model. Grok's AI video seems to have a bit more melting and morphing and AI wonkiness going on more often than what I'm seeing out of Kling. But if Grok is right, and with a free account you can generate 10 or 20, depending on which time you ask it, free AI videos every day, I mean, that's cool. And of course, if you're already paying for a Premium X subscription or Grok subscription, you've got some number of videos that you can generate there every day. You've really got nothing to lose. Might as well give it a shot. Hey, my name's Bob. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you found this video helpful or at least entertaining. And I hope you'll come back and join me for another video.